Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to this episode of Jim's 5am Club. I've just boarded a ferry and I'm heading across to Pyrmont Bay. I've got some training today, so I won't be working on site, but I'll be doing some union delegate training at the union head offices there at the CFMEU. I'd just like to wish everybody Christos Anesti. And for those who are unaware, the Greek Orthodox and Eastern Orthodox Christians greet everybody with a similar sort of greeting every day, and that's Christos Anesti. And the response that you expect to hear is Alithos Anesti. So Christos Anesti means Christ is risen, and Alithos Anesti means indeed he is risen. So the Greeks have been practicing this, or the Christians have been practicing this for almost 2,000 years. And it's an affirmation. It's an affirmation of the resurrection, because when Jesus was resurrected, he did stay with his disciples, and he preached and he taught and he connected with everybody for a period of 40 days until the Ascension on Ascension Thursday, where he went to heaven to be by the right side of the Father. So that's the reason why we say Christos Anesti when we greet people. It's interesting because there's a lot of older people that I always get puzzled with, because I say Christos Anesti to them and they look at me and they say, well, haven't we already said that? And I say, well, you keep on saying it for 40 days because that's our custom, that's our tradition, and that is the affirmation that we're called to give to each other. Anyway, let's go on a cruise and talk. We're just backing out here from wharf number 5, and we'll turn around and we'll head across to Luna Park and all the way under the bridge and over to Darling Harbour and Pyrmont. So the book summary that I want to go through today is entitled How Not to Die by Michael Greger. Michael Greger has written this book on how not to die. So he goes through a number of elements of health that we need to try and maintain in order to live as long and as healthily and as happily as possible. So he kicks off his book with an observation where he says that the primary reason diseases tend to run in families may be that because of the fact that diets also tend to run in families. So you can see from the very outset that his focus is very much on what we eat, how we eat, and how we live, because according to the author, those elements play a very vital role in our health and our well-being, and that it's important, the scale that it has on your health, because the author says that research suggests that what you eat will impact your health and number of years that you live. So that's the key message from this book, that what you eat and how you live will help determine the number of years that you live. And the evidence, according to this author, is that plant-based diets help you live longer, help improve your health and improve your lifespan, as well as the quality of your life. You know, we all know and appreciate that it's not the number of years that you live that matters, but the quality in those years. So the author is all about helping people try and figure out the best things that they can do in order to live the best quality life that they can live. So what the author then goes on to say is that the medical industry often ignores the biggest health problem of all, which is poor diet. We do tend to overindulge on salt, sugar, fats and processed foods, and we know that that in itself creates a lot of problems for many people, and it's a compounding effect. It's the compounding effect which has the greatest impact on our health, because it's over time. It's over a period of eating poorly that you get to have the negative impacts of those decisions. But people are living longer, but not necessarily healthier, is the point that the author's trying to make as well. Because of the medical breakthroughs, we are able to live longer, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we're living healthier and we're living better. So once again, this is a big call to action, because the majority of people, and this is an important point, so listen up here, the majority of people die with chronic diseases. I'll just get out of that wind there. So most people die of chronic diseases, which means that our last number of years are in a level of pain and suffering. But the author says all is not lost. The great message from this book is that the right diet can not only help you live a little healthier, but it can also reverse the effects of chronic disease. That's pretty powerful stuff. You know, so if you eat right, if you're healthy, if you exercise and you do all the right things, then to a certain extent you can reverse the effects of the bad decisions that you'd made earlier in life. So how do we do it? According to this author, we need to adopt a diet full of whole fruits and vegetables, which will help prevent disease and prolong your life. They can't be any more prescriptive than that. So adopt a diet full of whole fruits and vegetables. And what the author suggests is we eat 4 servings of fruit a day, and one of those servings must be berries. Because the author says that fruit improves lung function and it decreases the risk of COPD. I don't know what COPD is, but I'll put it in the notes and I'll look it up, because I've just taken down what was written in the book summary there, so pardon my lack of completeness. But also the antioxidants in fruits limit cell damage and decrease inflammation, which is something which is important for all of us. Fruit and vegetables have fibre and nutrients which combat the effect of fructose. A lot of people say that fruit is jam-packed full of sugars, but what the author here is saying is don't worry about that, because the fibre and the nutrients in the fruit helps counter and combat the effect of the fructose. The other thing, the reason why we want to have lots of berries is that berries have high amounts of antioxidants, which are very good for our health. And the other thing that the author talks about here is that whole vegetables, and the emphasis of course is on whole vegetables, help protect the telomeres in our DNA. So having a diet full of whole vegetables and fruits gives us many ticks and helps our health in many ways. So it's not something that we should take lightly. So the author suggests five servings of veggies a day. So we've talked about the 4 servings of fruit, which must be berries. But on the other hand, we also need to have lots and lots of veggies a day. of which 2 must be leafy greens and 1 must be broccoli and whole grains. So there you go, fruit and vegetables. You know, we've known about it, we've talked about it for many, many years, and here is a book that reminds us about it. So all the things that our parents, uncles and aunts and everybody has told us, we're told about it yet once again, but how many people take it on board? That's the question. And the last element, the last piece of the puzzle, according to this author here, is that we need to have the right diet, but we also need to move. So the exercise will help us reap the most benefits from the plant-based diet. So it's not just diet, but it's diet and exercise. And what the author here talks about is that we need to be doing on a daily basis. This comes as a bit of a shock to me, but I am an active sort of person, so it doesn't really bother me, but I know there's a lot of people who don't come close to this. The author says that we need to do 90 minutes of moderate exercise a day and 40 minutes of intense exercise. So 90 minutes of moderate exercise and 40 minutes of intense exercise. But the good news is, if you just walk for an hour and a half, walking every day can decrease your mortality rate by a quarter, by 25%. So there you go. So we've got some hope for each and every one of us to get mobile, to eat well, in order to live a longer life, but also a better life. It's not about living longer, remember? It's about living a better quality of life. And we do that by diet, exercise, and doing the right thing by our bodies. So there you go. I think I'll finish off now. So thank you very much for joining me on Jim's 5 a.m. Club. I'm just heading across now to Darling Harbour, and I'll get off at Pyrmont Bay and then walk down to the place where I'll be doing my training today. So the book summary that we've just gone through is entitled How Not to Die by Michael Greger, and it's a book which focuses on health in terms of diet and exercise. So let's finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, stay reasonable, and let's take a few hacks from this book and look after our health from a dietary and a exercise perspective by having 4 servings of fruits, 1 of which is berries, and 5 servings of vegetables, whole vegetables, not just vegetables, but whole vegetables, to improve our health. Because as we said, once again, let me have a look at the notes here, that we need the 5 servings of the whole vegetables, of which 2 should be leafy greens, 1 being broccoli or cauliflower or of that type, and also whole grains. And we also need to partake in exercise on a daily basis, remembering 90 minutes of moderate exercise or 40 minutes of intense exercise. And even if you just do walking, you know, if you walk for an hour or an hour and a half a day, it will help improve your health, but it also will help reverse the impacts of chronic disease and chronic ailments, of which most of us will end up suffering from in the latter years of our lives. So the trick is to stay healthy for as long as we can in order to live the best quality life that we can, not only for ourselves, but also for those around us. I always tell my wife, if I'm healthy, I can look after you, so don't fear. But you need to look after yourself just in case I don't get healthy. I don't care if you don't look after me, but who's going to look after you? So it's a very, very important point that we all need to consider and to mull over, that the reason why we need to stay healthy for as long as we can is to look after ourselves, because you don't want to be ill and not be able to look after yourself, or you don't want to be, or you don't want your partner to be ill and you not to be able to look after them. It's all an act of love, and it's all part of our duty and responsibility to each other. So thank you once again for joining me. Let's finish off, and we'll chat again from this beautiful, beautiful city of Sydney. There's no other place in the world that I would rather live in at the moment. Our economy is firing on all cylinders. We are definitely going to leapfrog many countries throughout the world in terms of economic and lifestyle measures. And there you go. Take care. If you like you, and I wish you well. And may we be the wind beneath our wings. May we be the wave beneath our board. May we be the zephyr that bellows our sails. And most importantly, may we be the turbine, the massive turbines and the propellers that propel our lives and our vessels into the direction that we want to head. Yassas from Jim's 5am Club, and we'll chat again shortly from a different location with a different message, a message of empowerment that will enable us to live, learn and pass it on. What an absolutely beautiful morning. What a great day. What a great day, time to be alive. Yassas and bye for now.